All right. Well then, let's talk about Breath of Fire, Grayson.
Yeah,
Uh, my thesis statement is that I'm very impressed, incredibly
same.
impressed. Because hold on, let me now we're that out of the menu. 1994. Okay, so it did come out 3 years after
Mm.
the Super Nintendo came out. So
Wow.
midway into the gen, there probably was other RPGs came out that they said that they improved upon. So that makes more sense to me. That if it did come out a few years in, because as we said several times during this, as we were streaming, this game has it's a definitely obviously it came out in '94, so it's an old
Hmm.
school JRPG,
Almost 30 years ago.
right? But it feels modern. It feels modern with like some of the decisions, like not all of them. There's still some old stuff, like the fact that we had to walk out of that entire castle for one,
Yeah.
or the fact that you couldn't really like compare stats to like stuff that you wanted to buy. You had to kind of like do that. That's something. But everything else though, like all those options that you could assign buttons to, like if there's something you use a lot, you can just assign it to that. You don't have to. You can just do all your stuff in the menu. Battles are snappy. Like they do use a lot of shorthand here, and it'd be nice to
Yeah.
explain what that shorthand was before kind of sending you to. But that's kind of like a mark of an old school RPG, so I don't really hold
Hmm.
it that much against it. Once you've done it once and see what it does, then you kind of figure it out. Or if you're really crazy about it, you can always look up a guide to see what that means. Um, Oh, hang on. Landmine says you can compare it to what you want. The icon that looks like a weight bar compares your equipped item to what you're about to buy. That's what it was.
Oh, that
So it
makes so
wasn't.
much sense.
That's what it was. Okay, so you still have to buy the item for the full price. That's what I. Okay, so I was confused. I was confused because I thought you traded it in to reduce your cost, but no, you still have to buy it at that cost. But the weight. Okay, so then it does that. Then it was there.
Yeah.
It was there. So there goes my complaint. So the only real thing was like the shorthand, and that was pretty much it. It's both. Landmine said it's both, so you can trade it and it compares. But I didn't see what it also trades your item for reduced price.
Huh.
Yo, this game's
Okay.
great.
That's really cool.
That is really great. But Landmine, then I have a question. Then, so before we continue our post discussion, in that case, where do you see the price reduction there? Because that's what I was. That's my next question, because that I couldn't see. All I could really see was our price, like the money we had. I don't know if they actually showed it. But while he's answering, I'll continue. So yeah, that's one complaint that's out of the way. Um, the music was really good. Like I was like really enjoying the songs that we were going through. The battles were really snappy. Like even if you're just going around and grinding, nothing seemed too hard. Which again, I made the Earthbound comparison earlier, where in Earthbound, when you're by yourself, you're pretty much like it's a really hard game because you're fighting a four member party game by yourself. This one it starts off a little like that but once you grind up like maybe like two levels, not even grinding, we just played, died once and then went back right to it. That's another great thing that you die and you just go right back to the same spot and keep
Yeah,
your
that
level
was
and
crazy.
keep your levels. That's insane. What did I say? If you select the character, it'll say the price after the trade-in, and let's choose if you want to confirm or cancel. Okay, so if you can't even do it, then like okay, in our case, we tried to do it, but it said not enough GP, so that means it wasn't even a discussion. But after, if you do have enough, so it does suck that you can't like determine that price right then and there. That
Hmm.
you have to have enough to begin with to even to do it. But still, the fact that you can compare it and trade in for a reduced price, that's not even modern RPGs do that, man. Where
No.
like you usually have to like sell your existing like how it usually works is you have sword, you find better sword at store. Okay, it costs this much. Buy sword and then sell it. So you have to have the money
Hmm.
first before you get the little profit back from selling your stuff. Some RPGs will let you, hey, do you want to sell your existing item now that you bought a better one? But more often, but even so, even with that nice option, you still have to have like the money to buy the new weapon. You can't just trade in there. So that's I would like to see more games incorporate that. That's a really good feature, actually. Um, hey, what are your thoughts? Tell me, talk to me.
Yeah, I think I share a lot of the same sentiments as you. Like since the game, ever since the game opened up, that beginning like cutscene that we were watching,
Uh huh.
I felt like I was all into the story. Because usually like some JRPGs will start off and like, okay, you wake up in bed, you go to town, you talk to people. It's very like chill, laid back, and then something tragic will happen like an hour in. But this game just like starts you right
Starts
off
right
like, oh
off. Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
like this building is literally burning and you got to get out. You turn to stone and you see this like powerful woman fight against that guy, and a lot of stuff happens in the first like few minutes, and that's
Right.
awesome.
That is
Um,
awesome.
I yeah, I also really dig the soundtrack. I think the combat is fun. Like you said, it's really fast. It's snappy. Like like a negative that I would say is like there are a lot of random encounters, which is a problem with a lot of like old school JRPGs.
Sure, sure.
But they're so fast, so it's like they really didn't bother me that much because they'll be over like in an instant. And it's
Exactly.
it's easy to grind. You can level up really fast.
Oh yeah, for
Um,
sure, for sure.
yeah, this game is really cool. I just hope it doesn't keep like it seems so far we're doing like we're doing the same things in a pattern. You know, we're like going to a
Right.
dungeon, talking to
Right.
people, leaving, going somewhere else. Uh
Yeah.
maybe when you start getting other party members, things start to switch up a little bit. But
That's what I was thinking
it's
too.
the first game in the series, and that's awesome. Like it's really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. Like I was always excited to check this game out, but what you were saying at the beginning of the stream, how you love Breath of Fire 3 so much, and this is like two previous entries down. So I thought a lot of that fun that you had might not have translated into this first one, but there's so much there. And that's actually my next question. It doesn't necessarily have to do with our final score of this game, but compared to the play after playing this game, how does it compare to you for Breath of Fire 3? What was similar? What was better? What was worse in to your memory? Because I know it's been a while for you.
Um, for me, Breath of Fire 3, it was mostly like the visuals is something that stood out to me because even though it was an early PS1 game, I think it really didn't use a lot of 3D visuals. It was mostly a flat like it looked like a Super Nintendo game with just a little bit prettier visuals. But they do a lot of cool things with I remember during battles, the camera will kind of spin around the characters when they're like doing
Oh,
animation or like doing attacks, and it makes the battles like really cinematic. So that's something that's like I, I wouldn't say missing from here, but it doesn't have that because it's an earlier game and the Super Nintendo doesn't really have that kind of power.
yeah,
But Breath of Fire 3 really feels similar. We are like just going through these areas. There is an open world. You're getting new party members, and they each have their own special skills and stuff.
that is cool.
But it seems very I can totally see like the inspiration now from like how it ended up being like why I love the third one so much, and I see the similarities in this game as well.
I can see that too. Yeah, that is, and it is unfortunate. The one thing we weren't able to check out is like we didn't get another party member. I mean, it is a JRPG, so that's I guess to be expected. Not all
Yeah.
games will give you your party like right away. But we did get a little hints there, like the shops will tell you if a character can equip a set item. We did to see like that formation system in which you can adjust your characters around, which I definitely want to play with more when I play this on my own time. But it seems like there's a lot of systems built in, and it's organized really well. Like the icons do a great job of explaining what you can and can't do. Like I don't feel like I did anything in this game that I didn't want to do. Which that's definitely a problem if you're playing like an NES RPG, for example, where sometimes you're just not given enough information or the icons are a little weird. Like everything was clear. Like the images
Mhm.
were clear about what you're doing. You're unsheathing your sword to do a slash. You have a shield if you want to just withstand some more damage. I imagine that'll be more useful later on when you get more party members. There, you might want to have some part members playing defensively while you have others attacking. So that's cool that that's there. Um, yeah, I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed. This is a joint between Capcom and SquareSoft. This is a really solid first entry and just a solid RPG on the Super Nintendo. And if we're talking about if a game holds up, the fact that this Super Nintendo game has quality of life stuff that some modern RPGs don't even have, yeah, it not only holds up, I would say it almost makes some old RPGs out now look worse.
Yeah,
Like,
that whole saving your progress even when you die, that's astounding, honestly. Like that is really crazy that that existed in a Super Nintendo game because classic games like on the NES and SNES, you're expected to lose a lot of progress if you don't save or you're lucky if there's a save system at all, if you have to put a password or something.
yeah, that's
Um,
true too. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
that's
you not,
crazy.
yeah, you save, and then The worst thing that happens when you die is you go start the beginning of the dungeon. If it's a long dungeon, that can get annoying, admittedly. But the fact that you still keep your levels. Oh, hang on. Landmine says, if all party members die, you lose half your gold. If only the active die, you keep everything. Wow. Okay. If only the active dies, if only the active die, you keep everything. If all die, you lose half your gold. So okay.
Money kind of sucks. So
yeah, the money does suck. But that's like Pokemon kind of does that, but it doesn't take halfway. It does a percentage.
Yeah.
But still, you keep your levels though. So I still think that's really good. I mean, I think there's enough consequence that you won't want to die. Of course, like you want to keep your money and keep your progress, especially if you go into longer dungeons. But I think there's far worse consequences for dying. Honestly, the fact that you keep your levels, like if you're going there just to grind, then that means you're even encouraged to grind in the dungeons too. If you're just not strong enough, which we weren't in the very beginning of that first dungeon, but then we were, and there was no issue whatsoever. Poison is rough though in this game.
Poison sucks.
Poison is really rough.
At the beginning, just the beginning, I feel like once you get more antidotes and you don't fight the spiders, I'm sure it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, if you just don't fight them, like honestly, those things they're weak. But if there's 3 of them, they will get at least 1 poison on you, and it's a sure poison. It's not like a percentage poison. Like you will get poison, so it's not even worth fighting those things. But the fact that poison only damages you on the field and on the bat and not in battle, I'm of 2 minds about that. On the one hand, it's great that you won't just like take sudden damage and just die mid battle. On the other hand, taking 1 point of damage every step sucks when you're dealing with these long areas. But
yeah.
Wait, Landmine says they're bugged in the North American version. Unfortunate. What do you mean? Like, is it bugged in the way that you'll always get poisoned, or I'm not sure what you mean. But while he's answering, this game definitely holds up, man. It's like if you had again, aside from the shorthand stuff that prevents you from knowing what the items are, if you told me this game was like a retro studio decided to make their own RPG that looked like a Super Nintendo game and it released today, I would believe you, because it really felt that way with how much detail is. I can't wait to go to Breath of Fire 2. It's gonna be a little bit down the road, just in case I decide to keep playing this. I'd like to if I decide to keep playing this, then I'd like to finish it before I go to Breath of Fire 2. And if not, then it's not a big deal. Oh, okay, hang on. Landmark says, they aren't supposed to always use poison attack, but in the North America one, they will always use poison every turn. So if there's 2 or more, you're guaranteed to be poisoned. So they do have other attacks. It's just
okay. That did seem kind of weird or kind of broken. I'm like, this feels like, why would they just give them 1 attack? But that makes sense.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So I'll let you do your final thoughts in a sec, Gray. But yeah, I will 100% have you gone for Breath of Fire 2. And now I'm very excited to see what is improved in that one. Because damn, this first one already is like really good. That's going to be probably like a few months from now. But yeah, I'll have you back for that. But that aside, yeah, what do you think? Agree, disagree? Any other last thoughts?
Yeah, I think it certainly holds up. I kind of want to play this. I don't know when, but if I was like on an airplane or something and I just like wanted something to just chill out with, I would definitely like start playing this game again and see how far I can get, because it is kind of like I just haven't played Breath of Fire 3 in such a long time, and this kind of like scratches that itch on the Switch, because Breath of Fire 3 isn't available on like modern systems right now.
Yes. Wait,
it was on the it might have been on the Vita store actually, but RIP.
Well, it's still out for like 3 months. Like I was literally about to say, if you like, I may just go get those before they die.
Oh, that's a good idea. Maybe I have a Vita, but I think it's broken or something, or it doesn't hold a charge. I don't know what's wrong with it. But yeah, it definitely holds up. Like I want to play it again. If I have time, or if I'm not playing like a game at some moment soon, I would definitely want to check it out.
Agreed.
Because I think it'll be fun to like play through.
I agree, 100%. Yeah. Oh, dude, I need to shill this game because I don't think enough people know about this, and this was really fun. This is really fun. I might have to tell Jarrell this because like he loves JRPGs, like so he might enjoy this. Like the story's a little light in the beginning. I don't know if it picks up much later on, but I'm curious to see where it goes. And looking at that box art right now of Breath of Fire itself, seeing those characters behind it, which I'm assuming is the rest of the party. Is that a mermaid as
Mhm.
one of them?
Yeah, and it also looks like a little monster guy at the bottom.
Yeah.
A
Interesting
little
party. That's definitely not
gremlin.
your traditional party in a JRPG of this kind.
Actually, I don't think any of them are human.
It's true because
There's like a
Rio's technically
little,
not a
there's like a
human himself.
pixie. Yeah, it's like a pixie, a little like mermaid thing, a little, yeah, all these weird creatures.
Yeah, that's a very different party. Yeah. So all that's and I just noticed it now, like on the Breath of Fire 2 thing. That's when they started putting ratings on games. So you see the nice little
Oh,
K to A rating there. That doesn't exist anymore because those I think because I want to say that was
huh.
like the E for everyone, but the E for everyone also existed. I think at that time,
Maybe.
or maybe I'm wrong. Either way, I think everyone E for everyone was like a better indicator of a game being that. Whereas kids to adults, it's like it means that, but also means like but if you're an old person, you don't count or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't feel as inclusive as literally everyone. I don't know. I always find like the retired ratings kind of like interesting, like the K to
Mhm.
A. I remember Star Fox
Yeah.
64 was K to A. I had the original cartridge still, and that's one of them. And I know Donkey Kong Jungle Beat was like the very first E10 game as well.
Huh.
Yeah, it
Cool
came out.
fact.
It came out just in time for Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh, that was rated
E10.
T. Was Shadow the Hedgehog T for teen?
It was either E10 or
Yeah.
T,
It
but
definitely had to be teen. That had too many guns to be rated,
I guess so.
uh, to be rated for kids.
Yeah, maybe so. Anyway, we got off a tangent there, but that is our thoughts on Breath of Fire 1. Man, that's a lot of fun.